A former Nueces River Authority employee has been indicted on felony charges. Corpus Christi City Council will vote on the demolition of a historic county courthouse. And Texas A&M University-Kingsville's baseball team ends their season at the Lone Star Conference Tournament. This is South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday, May 5th. A former Nueces River Authority employee has been indicted on 10 felony counts of tampering with government records. Marissa Juarez was arrested on Monday and faces 10 counts of tampering with a governmental record to defraud or harm, which is a state jail felony. Chris 6 News reports that a state investigation found irregularities in official water sampling documents submitted on behalf of several South Texas communities. The charges allege that Juarez in 2024 falsified water sampling forms submitted on behalf of water systems that the Nueces River Authority, or NRA, serves under contract. Chris 6 previously reported that the NRA's primary licensed sampler left the agency in February of 2024. Juarez, who did not hold a Class A, C, or D water operator license during her employment, continued to be listed on sampling forms as either the sampler or courier. NRA Executive Director John Byram's name appeared as the sampler on 25 forms between June and August of 2024. Byram said he does not collect water samples in his current role. Corpus Christi City Council meets today at Council Chambers. Item 21 on this week's agenda will set a vote on a $2 million funding agreement through the city's Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone, or TIRZ, number 3, to demolish the 1914 Nueces County Courthouse. Item 17 will put to vote an ordinance approving procedures used to set water use baselines for all customers, as well as approve curtailment percentage for water customers to determine water allocations during a Level 1 water emergency. Item 25 is a supply update from Corpus Christi Water. Corpus Christi City Council meetings are live streamed on the city's official YouTube channel. Victoria City Council meets today at 5 p.m. at their council chambers. On the agenda, council members will vote to award $1.4 million for the 2026 Street Improvement Project to Clark Construction of Texas. Also, members will vote to designate the city manager as an authorized official for the fiscal year 2027 Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority grant, as well as designate Sergeant Robert Rogers as the program director and Assistant City Manager Gilbert P. Reyna as the financial officer. Members will also vote to approve an interlocal cooperation contract with the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley for Regional Security Operations Center services. Victoria City Council meets on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. Meetings are live streamed online at victoriatx.gov and on YouTube at Victoria Texas Videos. In state news, Infowars is no more, at least for now. As KUT's Andrew Weber reports, the website run by Alex Jones that's peddled conspiracy theories for decades shut down over the weekend.
Infowars has been based in Austin since its founding in 1999. Its shutdown is a result of Alex Jones's bankruptcy after he was successfully sued by families of the victims of the Sandy Hook shooting. Courts ordered Jones to pay nearly $1.5 billion in restitution, and the satirical outlet The Onion is trying to take over Infowars. Jones told his audience in a defiant post on X that the court-appointed receiver locked him out of his Austin studio.
The Onion failed to get Infowars for the second time in a year and a half. But the receiver told us to get out of the building by midnight, so they're turning the place off that makes the money.
The Onion plans on revamping the outlet and skewering Jones's conspiracy-laden broadcasts, giving any profits to the Sandy Hook families. Jones has started a new website to broadcast while his appeal of the takeover plays out in court. I'm Andrew Weber in Austin.
With less than 2 weeks to go before the start of early voting in the Texas primary runoff elections, the Republican Senate contest remains tight. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider reports a new poll from the University of Houston's Hobby School shows Attorney General Ken Paxton in a statistical dead heat with John Cornyn.
The survey shows Paxton leading Cornyn 48% to 45% among likely voters in the GOP primary runoff. The margin of error in the poll is just under 3%. Mark Jones of Rice University's Baker Institute is co-author of the survey.
Paxton retains an overwhelming majority of his support from March, as does Cornyn, with Wesley Hunt voters, though, leaning towards Paxton 54% to 35%.
The poll shows Cornyn leading Paxton by 10 percentage points among likely voters with at least a four-year college degree, but Paxton leads Cornyn by 17 points among likely voters without a four-year college degree. It also shows State Senator Mays Middleton leading Congressman Chip Roy by 9 percentage points in the contest for State Attorney General. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
According to the State Health Services Department, Texas has about 4.3 million rural residents, more than any other state. Long distances to seek care from too few providers can be hard on patients. It's also difficult on healthcare providers needing to stay current on training. Texas Health Resources in January launched a mobile medical simulation lab to get needed training to rural providers. In this week's edition of KERA's Vital Signs, Sam Baker talked about this with Rhonda Thompson for Texas Health Fort Worth.
We saw that most learners were from downtown and the surrounding cities, but we weren't seeing a lot of activity coming in from the outskirts of DFW.
When you say learners, who are we talking about specifically?
From your community members all the way to medical personnel through physician with EMTs, paramedics, nursing, all of the in-between.
And this would be people who would normally come into town for training?
That's correct. The problem we recognized is when you approach someone an hour and a half away and ask them if they want to come into the brick and mortar facility to do 4 hours of training, you're talking an hour and a half drive here, the time for the classroom, and the time to drive back home essentially is a full day. And these establishments are finding it difficult to release that amount of staff to come down for a full day of learning. And so they would just forego it.
What then does that mean for the quality of health care for rural residents?
It means there could be a lack of positive outcomes for the community.
To spend an entire day, that in essence is like what? A day that residents in need might have to go without health care potentially?
I wouldn't say go without, but that this definitely increases a positive outcome for them. To be able to have the hands-on training right there available, and also they can request specific training. Maybe they're seeing a lot of patients that are diabetics. They're seeing a lot of postpartum bleeding. This opportunity for our truck to come out to them, we are able to teach the medical providers maybe streamlined, updated, evidence-based information. We are able to teach the Code Blue classes, tips and tricks that we may have learned that we can share with them. They can practice those things because the simulation truck, that's what we're about. You can come in, we have a mannequin there that can depict any ailment or illness, and the nurse or patient care tech or physician can physically put their hands on this mannequin and practice on this mannequin just as they would a patient. And even the simpler things, if someone does come in with low blood sugar or high blood sugar, how they can treat that mannequin is the same as how they can treat a real person that's actively having the same problem.
What's your ultimate goal with the lab?
The ultimate goal is to reach out the outskirts of the Metroplex, be able to educate those folks, and also that's community members, again, all the way to physicians, whether it be something at a daycare, EMS, firefighter establishment, other hospitals, whoever needs us, to improve the health of the people in the communities that we serve. And those communities are not just the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. They extend past that into those rural areas as well.
Rhonda Thompson manages the medical simulation program for Texas Health Fort Worth. And in college sports, Texas A&M Kingsville's baseball team bowed out of the Lone Star Conference tournament Monday after a 12-2 loss to Angelo State in San Angelo. The Javelinas endured double-digit runs for the second time in the series against the Rams. The previous win in Game 2 was the Javelinas' first postseason victory since 2022. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Kingsville softball will enter their respective conference tournament in Canyon later this week. Though the official bracket release is pending, Kingsville will likely enter as the number 5 seed to face the Oklahoma Christian Eagles in Thursday's quarterfinals. Today, University of Texas Rio Grande Valley baseball 24-25 this season kicks off a 4-game road trip against non-conference opponent Abilene Christian. The Vaqueros are currently in 4th place in the Southland Conference standings. Their conference rival, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, will see their baseball team in Houston today for non-conference action against the Big 12's Houston. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.